you by the Marquardt Law Firm, former prosecutor and experienced aggressive criminal defense attorney, specializing in violent crimes, drug crimes, weapon crimes, murder, fraud, white-collar crimes, DUI, and much more. Fighting vigorously to win every case at trial. Call 248-545-5290. Call the offices of Marquardt now.
Have you ever been denied a purchase? Are you looking to purchase a home or a car? If you answered yes to any of these questions, I can assist. My name is Shanada Harris. I am a financial specialist, offering solutions to your financial matters. We have an aggressive program that gets you results within 45 to 90 days. Contact me, Shanada Harris, at 734-752-8818 for your free consultation. Well, welcome to the Let's Fix It with Shanada show. Sit back, relax, and take some copious notes as we provide you with some awesome solutions to your financial matters. Invite your friends and family to join us. And if you're watching this live via Facebook, like, tag, share. Sharing is caring. I am Shanada Harris. And I just want to welcome you all to another exciting episode of the Let's Fix It with Shanada show. As we've been talking the last few episodes about savings with coupons for the last few weeks and how to shop smart, and I hope these life skills have been implemented in your plans and your shopping habits. As of the last week, we've just experienced another raise in the National Reserve for interest rates. So the cost to purchase homes are increasing as well as cars. But before we hop into this week's topic, I want to stop and just pause, just in remembrance of those persons who tragically lost their lives in the state of New York in that Buffalo shopping, grocery store shopping tragedy over the weekend. So keep those families and that community uplifted in prayer, because prayer changes things. But first, we've got to change the hate, you guys. Hate has no room here. We have no room for hate. But keep that community lifted in prayer for sure. So this week's topic, we'll be talking about Navy Federal, credit union, and credit. I want you to be educated. So please understand something. These life skills that should have been taught in school will be most helpful to you in your journey as you go through life. So if you have a college student, a high school student, or even just you as an adult and you're having some financial difficulties, these are definitely solutions to your financial matters. You just have to stop and implement them. And if you have to go back and listen to some of the advice that we're talking about in order for you to grasp that concept, please do so. And if there's something that you have some individual concerns with and you need to consult with someone, I am available for free consultations. Because understand something, not everybody needs credit repair. That's for sure. We just need to adjust some of our habits and increase our knowledge. And therefore, it will make the journey so much better for everyone. Wouldn't you agree? So let's get started. Let's talk about Navy Federal. Navy Federal is the largest credit union in the United States, and they are probably the most lender-friendly credit union on the planet. Can you get excited? And here are some facts about them. To become a member, you need to be an active or an inactive military or related to someone with that status. They also can be deceased to get you qualified. You just need to know the name and the branch of service that they served. When dealing with the credit union, they're looking at a financial relationship first and foremost. Navy Federal Credit Union pulls from the TransUnion FICO 9 score. And they don't use like medical bills that are in collections against you, because they realize that sometimes we as humans, we get sick, and if you don't have health insurance, medical bills can cause a problem on your credit report. However, they try not to hold that against you. Look, they're also looking for other relationships with other credit unions. So if you have um, a relationship with a one credit union that's here local, you can, it's okay to have more than one account in another spot. It's okay to have multiple bank accounts, in other words. And it doesn't necessarily have to be from a banking institution. It could be from two credit unions. It could be from a bank and a credit union. You can choose. But they're looking to see how you have established and developed a relationship, meaning your habits where you deposit money, you haven't overdrafted. An overdraft is the key of one thing not to do. That is a big no-no. Direct deposit set up with one of these financial institutions and having some credit history. So having a line of credit, having a loan, a car loan, a home loan, or even a personal loan. There are different types of various services that they can provide you. Okay. Now, Navy Federal tends to give larger credit limits. I've had featured here on my show a mother of 9 who was able to establish her relationship with them. And basically, when I say establish a relationship, that's simply opening the checking and savings account. 25 in the checking, $5 in the savings. And you just let it sit. Or you can open it with the direct deposit and have your monies going into that bank or that credit union as well. However you choose, but you don't really want to have, if you have a lot of activity going on, great, but you want to establish that relationship, right? They're looking to see if you have money in your checking and your savings, the length of time that you've been a member. That makes a difference. Steady flow of income, especially if you're self-employed. High income doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get the higher limits. And then don't arbitrarily apply and start putting high incomes on there, because they do tend to verify. Balances paid down. And let me re-emphasize, balances paid down, not so much off. Accounts within 24 months. That's important. And as I stated, no overdrafts in the checking or the savings. Those are key factors. Now let's talk about some things. Let's talk about what is good credit. Anywhere from 300 to 629 is considered bad credit. Fair credit is 630 to 689, 690 to 719 is good credit, and excellent credit is 720 to 850. The highest that you can get is an 850. But once you've reached that that peak of 750, the only difference between a 750 and an 850 is bragging rights, because 9 times out of 10 your offers will be the same. Now let's talk about what calculates and how your credit score is calculated. What makes up the credit score? So 35% of your credit score is calculated based on your payment history, your ability to pay on time, no delinquents, no late payments. That holds a majority of the weight of your credit score. 30% is the limits on your credit, the capacity, right? 15% is the length of time of your credit. That's why I always tell you, never close accounts, because you close the history, you close that capacity, and you lose that history. So you lose a lot and you will lose in points when you do that. The mixture of credit, whether it's installment and revolving. And what that is your mortgages, car loans versus your credit cards, right? And then the accumulation of debt in the last 12 to 18 months, the number of inquiries and opening dates. So once you get to a certain point with your credit score, you don't want to rush out and I've got a 625. Now I can go and apply for this charge card, this credit card, and go buy this car, apply for this loan, and just do all sorts of things, because every time you do that, that is going to cause your credit score to drop. And that's working against the grain of what we're trying to accomplish, right? So if you know, or if someone you know has bad credit and yours is good, you can make that person an authorized user on your credit card to boost his or her credit score. And these tips right here are great, especially for your 16, 17, 18-year-olds, to get them jump started with their credit. So by the time that they're 18 and able to apply for credit on their own, they've already got some established marks on their credit report, giving them a positive history. If you're a primary card holder and have good payment history and low debt, this can become a tremendous benefit to someone. Adding an authorized user may have an advantage for you as a card holder, but definitely for someone else. By law, authorized users are not responsible for their debts. The primary card holder must pay off the authorized user's debt if they fail to do so. So just because you allow someone to become an authorized user don't necessarily mean, hey Johnny, here's my credit card. Don't do that. You just want to add them on and let them reap the benefits of your good history. So make sure you know the pros and the cons when you add an authorized user to your credit card. What does adding an authorized user do to your credit? Let's talk about it. Adding an authorized user can, one, boost that credit score. And keep in mind, you want to do it for accounts that you rarely use, but you want to make sure that they remain active. Share an account with a family member or an employee without much trouble, basically. So once again, having authorized users are key of being able to piggyback off of someone with good credit. So it jumpstarts someone's credit, right? Now, can an authorized user hurt your credit score? Let's talk about that. Yes, it can be detrimental, and there are some risks involved. And the risks are, if you give that person the actual credit card and they go spend and run up your credit, that could become a problem. Definitely, it's a deal breaker for me. So be careful with whom you decide to do this for, and let them know that this is definitely a privilege to be able to piggyback off of your credit, because you worked hard to establish it and you don't need someone else to ruin it for you. Cardholders who want to help friends and loved ones sometimes use poor judgment. So just be careful when you do add someone onto this type of credit card to help them. Okay. Now, what are some of the tips for adding an authorized user? If you weighed the pros and cons and wanted to proceed, keep in mind these guidelines. Don't offer the card to anyone you can't trust. If you do, set limits, monitor the account, remove authorized users who aren't working out. And if you want to help an authorized user build credit, you don't have to give the person the card, as I stated. But if you do, stay vigilant, because that is going to be key in making sure they don't abuse the privilege. Does adding an authorized user increase your credit limit? Not automatically. You might want to ask the credit card issuer to raise their limit to leave you more room if you intend on that person having the ability. Now, I know as parents, we'll give the teenager a $200 limit. Like if you have a Victoria's Secrets, you got $1,000, and you might want to say, okay, Sally, you can spend up to $200 on this particular card, and this particular card only because they're authorized to use it. Then you have to make sure that you monitor that situation, that $200 don't become $300, because what that does is drive down your credit score and defeat the purpose, and it hurts them as well. How can you remove an authorized user? And sometimes we have to remove an authorized users because you and I both know sometimes people get a privilege and don't know how to act, and you have to revoke that privilege. You have to repo it. Just like they come to repo the car, you repo your card back. Typically, you call your credit card company, their customer service department, to make this request and ask for a new card because you want to remove them completely, so they no longer have the ability to spend in your account or be associated with your account. Does removing an authorized user hurt your credit? Well, if you don't remove an authorized user that's abusing your credit, it can be detrimental to you. So please be mindful of that fact. And if the account was in good standings and the deletion of the account from the authorized user's credit could cause their credit score to drop as well. So just know what you're getting into. Now let's talk about a few ways to build credit, right? We have a program called Credit My Rent. And what Credit My Rent does is simply add 2 trade lines to your credit report. And it gives you an increase in your credit score in less than 30 days. And it's one of my favorite ways to see a person legitimately get credited for having good rental history, paying your rent on time. That's the majority of what we work to do, is pay our living expenses, whether it's a mortgage, whether it's rent, whether it's a car payment. Those things are very important. But one thing that you're not given credit for on your credit report, unless you're in a special program, is rent. So for those of you that pay your rent on time and you are suffering from less than perfect credit, this is a program you definitely want to consult me with, for sure. Pay down some of your current debt. And let me reemphasize, pay it down. Because the lower you get that utilization under 30, the better off the opportunities come. So it's like the doors of offers, the floodgates of the offers tend to open up more so when you are under 30% of utilization, because people look at you as becoming financially stable, financially responsible, if you will. Credit utilization on your accounts have to stay under 30% in order to keep your credit score in good standings anyways. Otherwise, what happens is that the more you use your credit and the more utilization that you have, it can potentially drop your score. So it defeats the purpose. So paying down that debt, and it's always a good thing. So let's say, for instance, you've got a Macy's card, and your goal was, when you got your tax refund this year, was to pay it off. Well, you don't necessarily want to pay it off. You want to, if you do nothing else, ladies, go buy a lipstick, fellas, go buy a pair of socks. Keep you about $10 to $20 on there. And I promise you, it won't impact your credit score. Actually, it will be a benefit to you because, number one, if you don't keep some type of active activity on there, they will close that account, which will impact your credit score greatly because you're losing the history, you're losing the utilization, you're losing everything, all the factors that we talked about will be lost for that one specific card. And it can drop your score 25 to 50 points. And we don't want that. So please take that advice, pay it down, not pay it off. Charge something small and leave always something small on there. Check your credit reports for errors. Sometimes you will find the slightest error and you may not think nothing of it. Like if you don't use your middle initial on everything, you want to keep your name consistent. Like if you use Anne Marie Scott versus Anne M, her middle initial, Scott. Those look like two different people to the credit union. So you want to keep that specifically the same every time you apply for credit. Because otherwise, what happens on your credit report, they're going to have all versions of however Anne Marie Scott is. It could be Anne with two N's and an E. It could be Anne with two N's, no E. M, it could be Anne Marie. I mean, there's variations and we can go on and on. But you want to make sure that you are using the same method of how you spell your name consistently each and every time you apply for credit. Otherwise, technically, if someone sends something in a different format, you can actually claim that it's not yours because technically that is not yours. Your name is not spelled the way that they spelled it if you are using it in a specific manner. Okay, so an error can be small, minute to you, but major when it comes down to credit. Your address, any inaccuracy, all of those things will contribute to your credit score. They can bring your credit score down, can have an adverse effect on your credit. So it's important that all of those things are accurate. And if you need a current copy of your credit report, you can go to www.annualcreditreport.com to pull a free credit report. Now, during COVID, you could pull it at any given point in time at the onset of COVID. I'm not sure if they have lifted that particular privilege because, a lot of people were really concerned with variations of things that were going on with their families. So that involved credit. So check with annualcreditreport.com. If you haven't pulled one for the year of 2022, now is your chance to do so. Get a credit card. And sometimes we might have to get a secured card, which is where it's not your traditional card that you apply for, but you might have to put in monies to loan against your own monies on a credit card. And then it would have a Visa or MasterCard. Now, we have a program called Sable. And if that's something that you're interested in, you can consult with me and I will send you the link. And then also Self. Self is another credit card that I use as a builder that helps build your credit as well. And they also give you various tools to show you utilization and help teach you about the importance of keeping that utilization under 30% because they have the 30% utilization club, which is awesome. So they kind of like help you become accountable and knowledgeable of making sure that you meet these certain goals so you're somewhat rewarded, right? And then we've talked about becoming an authorized user. That will also help build your credit. Now, if you decide you want the Sable card, it does report to all three credit bureaus. However, you will be responsible for making that deposit, and that's for Self and Sable. So, if you know someone who has less than perfect credit and you've been watching me talk about credit and the importance of credit for 5 years, you guys. As a matter of fact, Um, this has been 3 years that I believe that I've been doing the podcast here on the WONTV network. And I'm super excited that I've had this platform to be able to bring you all the exciting topics that we talk about. So I'm going to say this. For those of you that have been watching and you know you need to do something, now is the opportunity for you to do something. Because if you continue to watch, it's basically like you're going to do the same thing over and over again, and you're going to end up in the same place. Nowhere. So it's like, I know some of y'all think the phone weighs about 100 pounds. But I promise you, if you pick it up and call me, you'll be ever so glad that you did. Because as I stated early on, you may not need credit repair. You might just need to tweak some of your financial habits so we can get you on the road to success with your finances. I do have some awesome services that are available, and I just want to be able to extend those incredible offers to you. So, those of you that are in need or know someone that's in need, now is the time to give me a call. So, let me give you my number. It's 734-752-8818, and I will be ever so happy to reach back out to you and consult with you so we can figure out what is the best solution for your situation. Because understand something, every situation is not cookie cutter and everybody's situation is not identical. So we will find the best solution for your problem. That is what we do here. We give you solutions to your financial matters. So as we begin to end this show, I have a couple of quotes. Your family legacy is determined by your actions that you take today. And that's ever so true. In order for you to leave a legacy, you've got to be able to take care of your finances now while you're living in order for a legacy financially to be left behind, right? Believe, take action, have confidence, and be disciplined and never give up. No one said this road is going to be easy on this credit journey because it's not. I'm just going to be perfectly transparent. It's not an easy journey. However, in order for you to acquire various things that you want and to get the things that you need, credit is a must. I don't know anyone that can't live without it. Rich people use credit. Even though they have cash, they use credit. Credit is king for sure. Take actions in order to move towards your goal. So I empower you to take some actions to change your financial trajectory because it is everything, and it will be totally something that your family will be glad that they were able to benefit from. And as always, I end my show with Shanada's Pearls of Wisdom. I need you to take action. Please don't continue to become a spectator. This is not a spectator sport. I need you to participate in the journey so you can accomplish home ownership, purchasing a new car. That's not from a B lot and paying high interest rates where you're buying two cars versus one car. I want you to be able to own your own home and not be a renter of someone else's home. I want to show you how to show your children and your grandchildren the power of these life skills, because that's exactly what these are: tools and life skills that you need in your journey of life. So, you don't have to have be a negative statistic, but you want to make a positive impact. And that's indeed what we're here for to do on the Let's Fix It with Shanada show. So, with all of that being said, I truly hope you have enjoyed the Let's Fix It with Shanada show. So, until God says the same, I'm going to see you next week. Bye for now. Have you ever been denied a purchase? Are you looking to purchase a home or a car? If you answered yes to any of these questions, I can assist. My name is Shanada Harris. I am a financial specialist, offering solutions to your financial matters. We have an aggressive program that gets you results within 45 to 90 days. Contact me, Shanada Harris, at 734-752-8818 for your free consultation.
This program has been brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm, former prosecutor and experienced aggressive criminal defense attorney, specializing in violent crimes, drug crimes, weapon crimes, murder, fraud, white-collar crimes, DUI, and much more. Fighting vigorously to win every case at trial. Call 248-545-5290. Call the offices of Marquardt now.